Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Inner Health Project. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Hannah Getty. Hannah, lovely Hannah, how are you today?
I'm great, Chris. How are you?
I'm great. Still appreciating the backdrop here that we have. This is,
I know.
I feel like it gives me two sides of Hannah. I get like fire and ice. I'm like,
there's the seasons, and then there's the moon and the sun.
Yes.
And then I don't know if you can see, but there's male and female on there too.
So. Oh no, that's cool. I like it.
There's a tree, life.
Visually, it's a good background too. If people are scrolling on Facebook or something, or YouTube, they see it, and very good. Well, how much time did it take for you to create that backdrop? It wasn't my best effort to create a transition to time, but
a few clicks and then I was done.
Right, nice. That's good. But we are talking about time. I mean, this is one of the being a business coach. A lot of times, people come to me with their problem of time. Being a human, this is something I constantly hear from people. I have no time.
Yeah.
So what do you see? Like, let's break this down.
Well, I saw this in my own life. Even like people asking how things are going and how things are doing and how's your business going. And I would say, it's going, I'm busy. It's going really well. And then it's like every conversation you have, when you mention the word busy, people like think you're successful. And I wanted to rethink that mindset because just because you're busy does not mean you're successful. Just because you've got a gazillion things to do doesn't mean you're being productive. Doesn't mean that you're doing the income making strategies or the income making tasks. Doesn't mean that you're getting anywhere.
Yeah.
You could just be spinning your wheels and you're busy, but you're not moving forward. You're not going anywhere. You're not creating anything of value. So I wanted to address that today.
Why did you, since you volunteered it as your own story, your story is everybody's story, first of all. So, but since we're using you as an example, my question for you is, why do you think that it sounded like that was a default thing to say, like, oh, things are great, I'm busy. Where did you get that? Why did you say that?
I think it's just part of our culture. I thought, like, okay, if you're busy, that means you have more clients, you're doing more work, you're making more money. I think that's what, in my head, being busy means making more money, which isn't true.
Yeah. It's very very unsettling for people. Again, back to business coaching. Part of what people would come to me with was the problem of time. And then when we would work through stuff to get them freed up from time, do you know how often people just put stuff back in their calendar because it was so unnerving to not have something always going?
Well, that's shocking. Because when you don't have something to do, you might have to sit there and be with yourself.
Yeah.
And
right.
Some people don't like to be with themselves.
Whoa. We might be just getting to the real issue here. You're right. I think there's, wow, you're right.
Because if you wrote down like how many hours a day do you actually watch TV, you're vegging out, but you're not doing anything productive, but it's taking up your time. And yeah, it's nice to relax and, maybe watch a show here and there. But if you always feel like you constantly don't have enough time, well,
right.
Then you need to start managing your time better, because time is finite. We don't, that's the one thing that we don't have. It's just going to keep going and going. You can't stop it. You can't stop time. So
I'll share vulnerably. I until recently, I've been so focused on work and business and all the stuff that happens when you just kind of go through life that I've forgotten what things actually are interesting to me. Like when people say like, well, what are your hobbies? And I'd be like, I don't know, building businesses, reading books, personal development. I don't know. It's like the same answer all the time. Mm-hmm. And I was so out of touch with the things, not even out of touch with things that I enjoy. I actually didn't even know what I enjoyed. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I had time, I don't know what I would choose to do. And so I think for a lot of people, I don't think this is unique to me. I think a lot of people, we've forgotten what we enjoy, what things in life really turn us on.
Right. So how did you discover that? Like, how did
I discover that?
Connect back to yourself, I guess.
I think some of it was just like that kept coming up. I've done a decent job of creating space in my life. Yeah. So I have time, but I would find myself being bored in my time. Right. So, and then I had a choice to make. I could go fill my time, which I've also done, and just get busy around things. Because I work for myself, I have that luxury. When you don't have that, when you work for somebody else, and then you have additional life responsibilities and stuff, I don't think you get that. But if you have the ability to create your own schedule, then you can fill it or not fill it. But the self-awareness of how I'm feeling is where I started to notice, like, I feel bored. Yeah. And so then I fill my time with, well, let's read a book, until reading books didn't do it for me anymore. Now I'm like, well, that doesn't do it anymore.
Do you think you were distracting yourself from being with yourself?
Yeah. I think I still do that. I can still catch that. Like,
yeah.
If I sit down to meditate, like it's comical. Like little kid trying to sit still for a minute. I'm like, bing, bing. Like if you could see inside my head, I'm like fidgeting and I can't really sit still. And I'm like, this is like embarrassing. And it's a little bit frustrating because I'm trying to be evolved here. I'm trying to meditate. Right. And I just can't sit still. And I'm like, what is the deal?
Well, maybe you were just meditating a different way then. Yeah, like I think you would meditate in movement.
Yeah.
That's more my speed.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think too, like but the inquiry of it all, like maybe this to your point, like what I started to notice was like, what else would I like? And I was like, kayaking keeps coming up for me. To go on a lake, I don't want to kayak on a river, but to go on a lake and to paddle, I think time would stand still and I would feel really connected and present. And
the last time that time stood still for me was I went sailing. It was the first time I ever went sailing. And it was a smaller boat and you can only fit 4 people on the boat. And first rule, Hannah, stay on the boat. And you had to go underneath, I think it's the sail, because it would move. You had to go underneath it and the boat would swing up. You had to stay on the boat. You had to be very present. And it was the most fun I had in a long time.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
It's kind of like being in a meditative state. You really have to be focused and present.
Yeah.
Yeah, and time stood still, for sure. It was cool.
I remember in college, I took some type of an art class and we did pottery. I really liked pottery, like sculpting stuff. I never threw a pot. That'd be kind of cool to throw pots, but like sculpting was I just loved moving stuff around and shapes, and time would stand still. And so I'm like, I should take a pottery class. So that kind of popped up in the last month or so. I'm like, that'd be interesting. So now I'm in this space of exploring what would I do with this time that I have. But I think before any of that insight, I was just trying to cram my schedule with stuff because it was so uncomfortable to be bored.
Yeah. And I think we can get addicted to being busy.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
yeah.
Even me, in my mind, it's like, if I've got some space, there's this voice in my head that says, well, you should be working, because if you're not working, that means you don't really want to be successful.
Yep.
It's like, oh gosh, that's harsh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if everybody listening to this just paused and then went and said, like, what is I think that voice that you just mentioned, like, is part of the thing that keeps us busy. Like, maybe my voice says, this is boring. I don't want to do this. And so then I fill my time. Or your voice says, you should be working. Or somebody else's voice says, like, you're a bad mom if you take time for yourself. And so you cram your life full of everybody else's stuff, because to take time for yourself just means you're a bad person. Whatever that voice.
That guiltiness. There's that guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that voice just brings up guilt for people. Well, for me, I guess.
Yeah. I've had clients who, they have a lot of their self-worth and their identity attached to their work ethic. So to work hard means I'm doing good. And if I don't work hard, meaning I don't cram my schedule full of everything, then it means I'm a slacker, or I'm not good, or something.
I could see where that could happen, because I realized lately that my main relationship is with my business.
Mm.
And that's,
Mm.
so when things don't go very well in the business,
Mm-hmm.
it's because I get so attached to it. It's,
Mm.
it can be very difficult and emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning to detach a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's a
That's
practice.
interesting. We say the word detach. It's so interesting because you're right. There's a detaching that happens, but it's interesting that, because I can feel that too. If I think, oh, I'm going to detach, then all of a sudden there's some fear that comes in, like, well, what's going to happen if I can't control it? There's this element of control that I'm feeling in this conversation. Like, we don't create space to create space in our schedule. So we have this complaint called, we don't have time.
Right.
But then if we actually create time, we don't feel in control. And so we put things in our schedule that we feel that we have control over in order to feel in control. And then we come back to the complaint of, I don't have time. And so there's this loop that never ends, because your need to control stuff and your need to feel worthy and your need to whatever keeps interrupting. I think maybe your soul is the thing that keeps saying, I want time.
Yeah.
You're like, I need time. I know you need this. So you say it,
Yeah.
but then you just get overridden by the ego or whatever else comes in to steal that back.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like holding on too tight.
Yeah.
With anything. So there was this tree. I was hugging a tree. This is gonna sound weird.
Really? That's
I was
amazing.
out hugging a tree.
I was out hugging a tree. That's amazing.
And the wind was swaying, and you could feel the tree moving. And then this voice in my head said, "Don't hold on so tight." So I let go of my grip a bit, and the tree was still moving, but it just felt freer. It felt like there was more space to explore the movement of the tree. And then so I took that as a metaphor for life. It's like, okay, the tree's still there. You still have your hands around it. You're just not holding on so tight. You're just allowing things to flow. I think that if we let things flow a little bit easier, like you're saying, release some of that control and just let things flow, we can breathe a little bit better and we can relax into that space of time.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Wow. I did not expect the conversation to go this direction. It's really cool though. Like, because I feel like we're actually getting to the real issue under time. I mean, time is such an excuse for people all the time. And I feel like there's something that keeps that complaint in play.
Right.
And I think we have to keep it in play if we're going to keep controlling things, or if our worth is attached to how much we work, whatever, like, but maybe that was the other thing that popped for me, was like that your soul is wanting some space, but your need to control things doesn't allow it.
Yeah. And you need that balance in your life, or that when the pendulum swings one way so far, it has to come back. So you just need, and you're not always going to be in the middle. It's just going to sway back and forth. You need to allow that flow.
Yeah.
To come into your life. And
right. Yeah. I have to ask, like, the tree hugging thing, like, was that like, were you meditating? Were you grounding? What was that about? Did you just feel called to hug a tree? What happened there?
I was just outside. I was just feeling
you were
nature.
Compassionate. You're like, this tree needs a hug. You need a hug. Oh, that's awesome.
I think I was like in a pretty emotional place.
Yeah.
And I was just feeling like, God, what am I doing? I don't know. I think I was upset about business. And I just was like,
that's amazing.
Held onto this tree, and the tree spoke to me.
That's so amazing. I love that. See what happens when you just like let yourself, like, follow your intuition, people. Don't like, when your intuition says hug the tree, just go do it. Just hug the tree.
Go with it.
Go with it. Go with the flow.
Exactly.
Very good. I love that. So good. Wow. And this is so cool, because, like, you could have a massage therapist, or you could have a massage therapist who's deep and like has these kinds of thoughts about the world. Like, that's a no-brainer.
I think we're all deep. I choose you.
We just hide it. Yeah. I choose you. Like, You know, like I could just go into some body shop and get my muscles worked on, or I could have you who like hugs trees and like thinks deeply about life, you know. And as you add, you know, as you add team members to your business, like I think what's cool too is that there's this understanding or sense that coming to work at Elevate Us, this is kind of these are the conversations we have. Like, this is what we stand for. This is what we're up to in the world. We don't just work on muscles. Like this is about inner health. This is the whole person.
Work on people. Yeah.
Yeah. We work. Yeah. Right. We work on them with people.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a huge being.
That's a no-brainer. That's an easy choice. So.
Well, back to your point about adding people to my business.
Yeah.
That would help me leverage my time, right? Yeah. Because I don't want to be busy running around all day long. I've got things, I need to be creative, and I need to move the business forward, move things in my life forward. And if I don't have that space where I can just sit and think and be creative, have enough time around that, then I'm not living up to my potential.
Yeah.
I'm not moving forward. I'm not elevating other people around me. I'm not adding people to my business. I'm not reaching more people because I can only do so much massage. But if I had more people with the same mindset as me in my business, we could reach a lot more people. So
this might be maybe a whole episode on its own, but at some point it'd be great to share your vision with the world through your show, right? Because maybe what people don't know about you, I don't know if people know this about you or not, but what I've come to know about you is that you're a big thinker. You have a big vision, a big goal. You want to help a lot of people, and it goes beyond the next appointment you have for a massage. Like, massage is one of the ways that you get to help others create an inner health for themselves, but it's not the only way that you are envisioning unlocking people and their health in this world. And I think sharing that sometime would be not only good for you to say to the world, but also good for others to feel like they can help you because what you're up to creating in this world is amazing. And so I think others want to feel a part of helping you create that in the world.
Yeah. We'll do an episode on that for sure.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
All right. It's really good. Really, really good. Really good. Well, I guess I would add a different invitation at the end of this episode by saying, first of all, if you listen to this, know of people in the massage space that are looking for a more holistic place to practice. Like, what they want is to be a part of a team and an organization that is creating the conversation of inner health in the world. Somebody like that, then I would say reach out to Hannah and just, or let the person know and have them reach out to Hannah. But Hannah's building something amazing here. And so help her by referring her amazing massage practitioners that could actually complement what she's building in the world. That being said, Hannah, people want to reach out to you, have more of this conversation, or want to book a massage at your business. How do they reach you?
You can go to innerhealthproject.com and you can watch all the podcasts there, all the shows. You can also find me on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Inner Health Project. And if you want to go directly to my business website, it's just elevateus.com, ELEV8TUS.com.
Perfect. Yes, let's do this, people. Well, here's to all of you and your issues with time. We hope you make your issues with time, because there's a life waiting for you on the other side. Hannah, thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Chris.